Step into a tale of faith, mystery, and legacy. Sheikh Hamdan's unexpected encounter in a quiet English village nestled in the rolling countryside of the United Kingdom lies a picturesque village, known not for grand cathedrals or bustling streets, but for its peaceful charm and tightly knit community. On a serene Sunday morning, the air carried the gentle hum of hymns and the soft rustle of leaves. The village church, a centuries-old stone structure adorned with ivy and time-worn stained glass, stood like a quiet guardian of stories both old and new. On this particular day, something extraordinary was about to unfold. The usually predictable rhythm of the morning service was interrupted not by spectacle or announcement, but by the quiet arrival of a figure known across continents. His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed Al Maktoum, Crown Prince of Dubai. There was no entourage, no loud proclamation of royalty. He arrived humbly, stepping through the arched wooden doors with reverence and grace, dressed simply, blending seamlessly into the congregation. Yet, despite his modest entrance, there was an undeniable presence about him, calm, dignified, and observant. As the service continued, sunlight streamed through the stained glass, painting the church interior with soft hues of red, blue, and gold. The atmosphere was deeply serene. Sheikh Hamdan sat among villagers who had never imagined sharing a pew with royalty. He closed his eyes in silent prayer, his demeanor reflective, even contemplative, a man in search of something far deeper than spiritual routine. But what brought Sheikh Hamdan to this secluded corner of England? Was it mere coincidence, a detour from a royal itinerary? Or was it something more, something guided by fate? As the sermon drew on, Sheikh Hamdan's gaze kept returning to the far back of the church, where an elderly woman sat quietly. Her presence was understated, yet compelling. Her silver hair was pinned neatly beneath a modest hat, and her hands were folded tightly, as if clutching onto something unseen. There was a sorrow in her eyes, the kind that only comes from decades of waiting, longing, and unanswered questions. Something about her stirred something deep within the Crown Prince. After the service concluded, while many filtered out, exchanging warm greetings and Sunday pleasantries, Sheikh Hamdan lingered. His steps were slow but deliberate as he walked toward her, every footfall echoing softly across the ancient stone floor. The church seemed to hold its breath. As he approached the woman, she looked up, and time appeared to stop. There was no need for words. A wave of silent recognition passed between them, though neither had ever met. The air shifted. The woman's eyes widened, filling with tears that welled and refused to fall, suspended by the sheer gravity of the moment. Sheikh Hamdan knelt before her, his eyes never leaving hers, and slowly took her hands in his. "I believe this belongs to you," he whispered, voice low and steady. From his coat, he produced a small velvet box, aged yet meticulously kept. The woman's hands trembled as she opened it. Inside lay a pendant, an antique locket, delicately crafted, catching the light with a golden shimmer. A gasp escaped her lips as she traced her fingers over it. For a moment, the church fell silent again. Even the whispers of curiosity stopped. The congregation, aware of the moment's significance without understanding its details, could only watch in reverent awe. The woman opened the locket with trembling fingers. Inside, a photo, faded but precious. A young couple, smiling in a time long past. Opposite the image, an inscription, barely legible yet seared into memory. "To my beloved, always and forever." A tear slipped down her cheek. "He gave this to me the day we were wed," she whispered. Her voice, though frail, carried the weight of 1,000 memories. Sheikh Hamdan nodded. "I know," he said softly. "He was my The revelation shattered the stillness like a thunderclap. Gasps rippled through the room as understanding began to dawn. The pendant had traveled continents and decades, carrying with it not just metal and memory, but bloodlines, love stories, and unanswered prayers. The woman, stunned, reached out and touched his cheek. You're his grandson? My God," she couldn't finish. Words were inadequate. Her heart, for so long burdened by absence and mystery, was now full, brimming with a bittersweet peace. The past had come back to her, not as a ghost, but in the form of a young man who carried both resemblance and redemption. Sheikh Hamdan's presence wasn't just a royal visit. It was a pilgrimage, a journey to reconnect with his roots, to bring closure to a story that had remained untold for too long. "I grew up hearing about a woman who was once loved deeply by my grandfather," he explained gently, "but fate separated them. This pendant was passed down through generations, always with the hope that one day, it would find its way back to you." As he helped her rise to her feet, the congregation instinctively moved aside. The woman, once forgotten by history, now stood at the center of a living legacy. Her heart, which had once ached with questions, now beat with the assurance of answers, of love that had lasted beyond death, and of a grandson who had traveled far to complete a circle broken by time. The reunion was not just about blood or romance, it was about healing. About the beauty of interwoven destinies, and how even the smallest moments can carry unimaginable weight. Later, outside the church, the two sat beneath an old oak tree. The woman shared stories of laughter, of promises made under moonlight, of a love cut short by circumstance. Sheikh Hamdan listened, eyes soft with emotion, committing every detail to memory. For the village, the event became legend. Not because royalty had walked their streets, but because something profoundly human had unfolded in their midst. A reminder that behind every title and every name lies a heart that longs, grieves, and seeks. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting golden light across the landscape, the final words she spoke to him echoed like a prayer. "I thought the world had forgotten me. But you found me, and in you, I found him again." Sheikh Hamdan took her hand gently and whispered, "He never stopped loving you. I am just the messenger."